Ancient yogis and Buddhist monks have consistently highlighted one key concept: observation. To truly observe something, we must focus our attention on it. By directing our attention appropriately, we can bring about a desired quantum event in our lives. In this video, I'll demonstrate how you can harness your attention to shape the reality you desire, as mastering the art of focusing your attention is crucial in co-creating your reality. Let's dive in. To comprehend how our attention shapes the version of reality that unfolds, we first need to grasp the flow of energy. Whenever you feel stuck in life, pursuing goals that seem unreachable or encountering recurring situations like a repetitive cycle, it's vital to identify where energy becomes stagnant. Energy needs to move freely, otherwise it stagnates, leading to repeated circumstances. So, what guides the flow of energy? It's our attention. Energy follows wherever attention is directed. Our focus determines the path of energy flow. Many people are unaware that our attention consists of two primary types: polar and non-polar. Polar attention has the ability to both attract and repel aspects of reality. When viewed from another perspective, any problem can become a solution. Two sides of the same coin. And that's the essence of polar attention. It draws certain things closer while pushing others away. Let's delve deeper into this idea. Besides polar attention, there exists non-polar attention, which remains completely neutral and possesses the power to dissolve reality. When considering how quantum events manifest in our lives, let's explore what this implies. Imagine two varieties of polar attention: positive and negative. When we focus positively on something, life doesn't concern itself with whether our attention is inherently positive or negative. It's about the content of that focus. As I mentioned in my previous video, if we harbor hatred towards something, we'll attract more occurrences related to it. Similarly, if we express love for something, we'll draw more of what we cherish into our lives. Here's the heart of the issue. As human beings, we've been trained throughout our lives to operate under fear and a survival mindset because it's ingrained in our biology. Our primary instinct is to survive, and the most effective way to do so is by eliminating or avoiding threats. Consequently, we've been conditioned to live defensively, steering clear of conflict and risk. Many of us have been molded this way. Due to this conditioning, we often find ourselves facing more of what worries us. Consider what you see on the news or social media. There's a greater spread of fear than anything else. This is how external forces can manipulate and influence us. There are countless people who are proud and willing to fight for something they cherish deeply. While admirable, this often blinds them to reality because it's easy to direct someone's actions through anger. Similarly, fear can also drive specific behaviors. Fear, anger, and pride are the emotional states that society uses to keep us trapped, directing our attention toward actions we might not always choose willingly. Many individuals repeatedly experience similar relationship patterns because they cling to past traumas. Their focus remains on avoiding previous relationship pitfalls, which inadvertently attracts the same type of partner and relationship dynamics. Most people are traumatized by events and worry about whether they've processed these experiences correctly. This is where neutral or non-polar attention becomes important, but we'll delve into that later. For now, it's crucial to understand there are two types of attention: positive and negative. Life revolves around what captures our attention and what we focus on most intently. If we find ourselves in a situation where we're at a crossroads in life, perhaps facing a work-related challenge involving a coworker, employee, or another issue, we have a choice in how we perceive it. By choosing to view the situation positively and focusing on how it might present an opportunity for personal growth, we can overcome the challenge and emerge stronger. This positive outlook attracts energy and reality that mirror our attitude. Conversely, if we approach the same situation with negativity, thinking it's disastrous and insurmountable, we'll draw in energy that aligns with this negative mindset. It's crucial to realize that life doesn't differentiate between positive or negative attention. It simply reacts to the focus of our thoughts. If we believe a situation will help us grow, our life's trajectory will lean towards more favorable outcomes, manifesting what we view positively. On the contrary, if we dwell on negativity, expecting bad things to happen, they likely will. Notice what's occurring here. When we feel positive, our mind interprets the situation as positive. When negative, it sees it as negative. How do you determine if something is bad? Often it's an assumption born from fear. Fear breeds more fear. When we experience emotions, we often try to validate them by considering other potential threats that could amplify that fear. But why do we do this? As emotional beings, feeling keeps us alive and ensures our survival. It's part of our biological makeup. In states of fear, we tend to enumerate everything that might go wrong, which can lead us into a downward spiral where negative focus starts shaping the content of our attention. The core problem here is the need for alignment between the heart and the mind. When you experience negative emotions in your heart, your mind quickly starts producing negative thoughts, which then manifest into reality. This leads you to a life path where more negative events occur. The key, however, is maintaining non-polar, neutral attention. By observing situations with a neutral perspective, they simply come into our lives and pass without affecting us. For instance, in an unpleasant situation, you can acknowledge it and accept it without attaching positive or negative feelings. You remain on your existing life path. Nothing changes significantly, and the situation eventually dissolves. Most people tend to fight their past traumas and fears by focusing negatively on them. Consider how this unfolds. When something distressing happens in the past, we often try to escape from it because the emotions are overwhelming and we lack coping mechanisms. In trying to escape, we resist, and resistance only makes things persist. By resisting, we empower these issues, allowing them to push back against us. We spend our lives battling past events that we dislike and end up living from a place of trauma. Consequently, situations that reinforce this trauma continue to arise. Remember, every coin has two sides. It's entirely up to you how you choose to perceive things. Now that you grasp this concept, let's discuss how to apply it effectively to shape reality. The first step is merging polar and non-polar attention, a critical point that deserves careful consideration. There are three main steps involved in this process. By following them, all the energy spent on negative attention will dissipate, freeing up energy to focus on creating the positive reality you desire. Let's explore how this functions. The initial step is embracing acceptance. When we find ourselves in a situation that feels like an endless pit, where it seems we've hit rock bottom, it's crucial to acknowledge that this is our reality. Acceptance and resistance cannot coexist. They are mutually exclusive. Acceptance serves as the cure for resistance. It's essential to grasp this concept. We're not gathering energy. The energy being utilized is only for redirecting and stepping aside. Your goals are eager to materialize. You're simply obstructing their path. You need to step aside to allow them to come into being. We begin with complete acceptance of our current circumstances. Whatever challenges you face, whatever situation feels stagnant, or even your worst nightmare, imagine it has already occurred. You fully accept its occurrence and recognize that life continues regardless. You're no longer tormented by your worst fears. This understanding is crucial because many people worry that accepting the worst-case scenario might invite it into their lives. However, that's not the case. In fact, by accepting the worst-case scenario, you cease to fuel it with the energy of resistance. Continuing to resist only feeds it further, increasing its likelihood of happening. But by accepting and stepping aside, you engage in neutral attention. Acceptance equates to neutral attention. To initiate change in any area of our lives, we must begin with acceptance. Total and comprehensive acceptance of the present moment. We can't alter the present moment, no matter how much we try, as it's ever-changing. The moment you try to hold on to it, it's already become the past. Changing this present moment is impossible. What lies within your control is choosing what you'd like for the next moment. We often deceive ourselves into thinking that if something happens, we've failed because we attach ourselves to our actions and identify with them. Consider the worst-case scenario and embrace it entirely. By doing so, you diminish its significance completely. The second step involves recognizing how this setback or unfavorable event might actually be a hidden blessing. Every occurrence is inherently neutral. It is our perspective that labels it as positive, negative, or neutral. Instead of viewing it as something bad, consider how it might serve as an advantage or bring good into your life now. What do I mean by a blessing in disguise? Sometimes events occur to shield us from harm. Perhaps there's something negative in the situation that a higher power or the universe is sparing us from experiencing. Have you ever thought that, like any event in your life, there might be a reason behind it? For instance, missing a bus could mean avoiding an accident or some other unfortunate event, with the universe acting to protect you. How can you be sure? This perspective becomes easier once you've reached a state of acceptance. If you're still reeling from a recent negative experience, don't pressure yourself to immediately find hidden blessings. First, aim for acceptance and acknowledge that the event truly happened. Once you're in a more neutral state, you can begin to explore how it might eventually turn out to be positive. The final step is to consistently refocus your attention on what you desire. When you're in a state of complete equanimity and acceptance, your mind is free to fully concentrate on what you want. Mastering this makes you unstoppable. Nothing can hold you back. This process determines which life path unfolds for you and which events manifest in your life, all based on where your attention lies. Many ancient cultures and religions emphasize the importance of attention, observing and focusing on things mindfully. Here we blend these concepts. We start with non-judgmental attention and move into acceptance, acknowledging events without labeling them as good or bad. Then consider potential blessings in disguise before finally shifting into a positive mindset when we achieve equanimity. This process is among the most effective tools available for shaping the reality we desire. As a co-creator of your reality, your attention is your most potent tool. By learning to direct it efficiently, you can manifest the life you envision. So, the takeaway I want to share with you today is this. If you're feeling down about yourself today, allow yourself to acknowledge those feelings. Once you've reached a state of equilibrium, you can then shift your focus to what you truly desire. However, if you attempt to hide, repress, or suppress your emotions, they will likely resurface later. At this point, whatever actions you're taking might be a form of resistance. Even when you're reciting positive affirmations in front of the mirror, you might actually be resisting feeling something by doing so. That could be what's happening. This three-step approach, when applied consistently, has the potential to transform your life completely. When you learn to accept, redirect, and choose what you desire, you're freeing up energy that was once spent on resistance. You're effectively using your attention to create the reality you want. Remember, acceptance doesn't mean surrendering to defeat, but rather acknowledging the current reality. It is within this acceptance that our vision becomes clearer and the path to our desires unfolds. By embracing the worst-case scenario, we release energy previously wasted fighting against it. That's when our attention becomes the catalyst for change. We shift our focus toward what we want, and reality adjusts accordingly. As co-creators of our own realities, we have the power to choose our paths, shape our experiences, and define our destinies. True transformation begins when we decide to direct our attention toward what truly matters in our lives. Move forward with confidence and purpose because you are the architect of your own destiny. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If this video resonated with you, I encourage you to like and subscribe to our channel. Share this video with others so they can benefit from this message as well. Don't forget to leave a comment below sharing your thoughts, reflections, and experiences. Thanks once more for watching and being here with me. Take care and see you next time.